wafumana unxeba ovela ku General Mbombo ophethe iphondo sasa ekuseni ngaleyo mini.
I was from on leave, and she indicated to me that she needs me. We should accompany her and General Naidu to Lonmin in Rustenburg.
Ndandi kwixesha lokuphumula ndiselivini ngelo xesha wathi ke uyandinga okokuba mna no General Naidu simphelekezele simkhaphe ukuya pha eLonmin.
On our arrival at Lonmin, I arrive at an interim JOC, which is Joint Operational Center, and briefed by Brigadier Khalid.
Ndafikela phaya kwindawo ebizwa ngokupha iJOC, Joint Operational Center, apho ndafumana khona ingxelo eyayivela kuBrigadier Khalid.
And after Brigadier Khalid briefed us, I saw a number of people, he estimated by then between 2,000 to 3,000 at the copy through the CCTV of the Lonmin.
Emva kwale ngxelo ke ndabe ndiyojonga iCCTV camera eyayiphaya apho kwakukhona izihlwele zabantu phaya entabeni ezingaba phakathi kwamawaka amabili namathathu abantu.
Just a moment, General. What did Brigadier Khalid brief you on? What were the contents of his brief to you?
Buzwa ngoku ingxelo ayifumana kuBrigadier Khalid wayethetha mayelana ntoni?
Chairperson, Brigadier Khalid briefed me with the incidents that were happening since the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. And then until at that time when he was showing me the CCTV camera or what is happening at the copy.
Wayendixelela ke ndibalisela ngezehlakalo zangomhla ka9, 10, 11 nange12 waze waya kundibonisa phaya kwiCCTV into eyenzeka ngalowo mini phaya entabeni.
What did Brigadier Khalid said had happened on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and the 12th?
Wathini kuwe wathi kwenzeke ntoni mhla ka9, 10, 11 nange12?
Brigadier Khalid informed me that on the 9th, the police station was informed by one of the security personnel at Lonmin that there was a gathering, and this gathering they have decided that they are going to march on the 10th.
Wandixelela okokuba bafumene umyalelo ovela kwi-security yaphaya kwaLonmin okokuba ukho abantu abahlangene phaya izihlwele ezihlangene ngokuthi zizawumatsha ziyawuqhankqalaza ngemini elandelayo umhla ka10.
Sorry, Chairperson, just to explain, just in case there will be some demurring murmurs as regards hearsay, Brigadier Khalid is coming to testify later on.
And I can say now that it won't be necessary for counsel to cross-examine this witness about what Brigadier Khalid told him. They'll be able to cross-examine Brigadier Khalid directly, and that should save some time.
Beka ngaphambili umgcinisihlalo okokuba akunasidingo sokuba elingqina lichazele ngaloo ntetho kaKhalid ngoba uyawubiza njengengqina.
General, you don't have to go into much greater detail about what Khalid told you, but in very broad outline.
Uthi umhlekazi ungalwana angabeka nje amabala angayichazi yonke njengoba injalo lento kuba wamxelela ntoni.
I would like to state that only the incidences of those days, he indicated to me that the violence was increasing, and then also there were some deployments that were made, and he has also made call-ups that are sent to head office, and by that time he was under the supervision of Major-General Naidu, who was by then the acting provincial commissioner when the provincial commissioner was on sick leave.
Wandixelela okokuba izehlakalo zodusheke ziya ngokwanda phaya sekukhona amapolisa amanye asathunyelwe phaya kule ndawo. Wandixelela ukuba wenze isicelo ehead office okokuba kuthunyelwe. Wayesebenza ngelo xesha phansi kwa Major-General Naidu owayeyibambela kulo msebenzi.
Right. Then there is a request made by the provincial commissioner. Can you take it from there?
After the briefing of Brigadier Khalid, Chairperson, we went to a meeting with the Lonmin, myself, General Naidu, and the Provincial Commissioner.
Sabe sesiya kwinhlangano siyohlangana nabakwa Lonmin kundimi naye no Provincial Commissioner.
In the meeting of the Lonmin, we were briefed by Mr. Barnard Mokoena, who is actually the senior person at the Lonmin, and he was also accompanied by Mr. Khotle and Khwadi.
Phaya ke safike safumana ingxelo yayivela kumhlekazi kwababathathu uMokoena, uKhotle noKhwadi.
Chairperson, briefly, they indicated to us the problems that they have encountered since from the 9th.
Balela kaphuphi nje ingxaki bebanazo kusuka ngomhla ka9.
And that they were shocked with what has happened on Saturday.
Amangazwa into eyenzeke ngomgqibelo.
And they also indicated the labor problems that they have encountered between the NUM as well as AMCO.
Basixela nengxaki ebahlangabezana nayo phakathi kweunion ezimbini iAMCO neNUM.
Sorry, General, when they say they were shocked by what had happened on Saturday, what were they referring to?
Lento eyenzeke ngomgqibelo yayibathusile intoni?
Actually, they were shocked with what happened on Sunday. That is the killing of those two security personnel.
Kwakungecawe mhla kubulawa isecurity officer ezimbini.
Chairperson, in brief, they indicated that they actually don't know who are these people who involved in this violence.
Ngamafuphi ke mhlekazi bathi abanalo ulwazi oluphelele ukuba ngobani ababantu abenza yonke lento.
The term that was used is that they were faceless.
Bathetha ngaloo abantu abanobuso obungaziwa.
After the briefing, we went back to the JOC.
Emva kwaloo ngxelo ke saphinda sabuyela phaya kwi-Joint Operation Center.
When we were there at the interim JOC, the Brigadier Khalid showed me again the group that was moving from Karie and coming back to, coming in that along the railway line.
Kuthi emva koko sabuyela phaya kule JOC yexeshana yayilapho apho ndathathwa ndamikiswa futhi ndaboniswa bona ziyazihlele zisuka ngoku phaya ngaseKarie ziza apha ngaku-railway ngakuloliwe.
And while Brigadier Khalid showed me that, the Provincial Commissioner stood there and she said to me, General, I think the situation warrants that as a DPC operational services, you should remain and take charge of the situation.
Uthe ngelo xesha sabona le mfanekiso ke uProvincial Commissioner owayemi naye ejongile apho wabesethi hayi ubona ke ubabhetshela okokuba mna njengomntu ophethe phaya ndithathe inxaxheba ngoku kule nto eyenzeka.
Let me just get some clarity. Were you given this request, or was this request made of you in your capacity as Deputy Provincial Commissioner or in your capacity as overall commander of the operation?
It was made as an overall commander of. My understanding is that it was the time that I am now appointed as an overall commander of the operation.
Ngokuva kwami ke ethetha nami ngolo hlobo wayethi kube ndim endongamele yonke lento eyenzeka ngelo xesha.
Just so we make it clear, General, sorry. Were you appointed overall commander of the operation before the request was made for you to go and attend to those people who were marching along the railway line, or after?
Sicelo sokuba kube nguwe ngokophatha lento senziwa phambi kokuba uye kwaba bantu noma emva kokuba usuyile ku.
It was after the Provincial Commissioner she has made an OB entry in the JOC.
Wayesebhalile kwi occurrence book phaya.
What's this? Now, of course, we've got the OB, it's the occurrence book, it's one of the exhibits. And there is an entry signed by the Provincial Commissioner. Just remind us, what does that entry say?
Well, The question, Chair, is a bit different one. I don't know if
He's answering it by reference to an entry in the occurrence book by the Provincial Commissioners. I think it will help us to understand the flow of what he's saying if we have a look at that.
Sizawujonga apha kwi-occurrence book uba kwalixesha lini xa esayina phaa i-provincial commissioner kwi-occurrence book le nto ngeli xesha embeka okokuba nguye osophethe ngoku kule nto eyayenzeka apho.
To the note in the occurrence book, which is exhibit FF 25 at page 4, entry number 37, which is an entry made by Lieutenant General Mpembe at 12:45. Is that the note that you're referring to, or is there another one?
That's correct, Chairperson.
Ewe kunjalo mhlekazi kwakulixesha la 12:45 xa eyibhala uLieutenant General Mpembe le nto okokuba sendinikwe lawo mandla.
That reads, and as shown, the different points of gathering, the planning has been adjusted to disperse the gatherings. All police officials on duty to conduct searches and confiscate all dangerous weapons. That's the entry, is it? And then it ends up, ensure that peace prevails.
General, the question was a slightly different one. It was this. When the provincial commissioner requested you to attend to the crowd who was marching down the railway line or next to the railway line, had she already appointed you as overall commander of Operation Platinum or not?
Mbuzo okokuba ngeli xesha ekucela okokuba mawuye phaya kwezivele ezaziza ngaku-railway ube sekubekile njenge-overall commander ye-Operation Platinum.
By that time, when she requested me to go there, I have not yet made a plan. So by that time, I would just say I went there as an overall commander appointed, but without a plan and relying on my own experience.
General, I don't think you're understanding the question. What Mr. Ngubane is concerned about is just whether you were appointed overall commander first and then decided to go to deal with the situation of the railway line, or whether it was the other way around, that the request that you go, or perhaps a suggestion, perhaps it's more accurate, suggestion that you go to the railway line, was that made by General Mpembe before you were appointed overall commander or after you were appointed overall commander? I think that's Mr. Ngubane's question. It's just a question of what came first.
Mbuzo kamhlekazi ungalwana ukuthi xa ucelwa okokuba uye phaya kwaba bantu babehamba e-railway wasowubeki wena njenge-overall commander ikanene loo nto yokubekwa kwakho yenzeke emveni kokuba usuyile phaya.
Perhaps can you phrase it like this? When were you appointed overall commander of the operation?
Andibeke ngolo hlobo ke ubekwe nini okokuba ube overall commander?
It was when I was informed that I should intervene, that I should remain and also address the situation at the Lonmin.
Ngeli axesha ethi kumse kuyawudinga okokuba usale ngoku apha kube nguwe umuntu ojangana nale meko yaselonmi.
Was it on Monday during the day or Monday in the evening?
Kwakungumsombuluko emini kanene ngexesha la sekusihla.
Monday during the day.
Kwakungumsombuluko emini.
Right. So you go to attend to this crowd next to the railway line. Can we just take the commissioners through what then transpired very briefly, and then how the situation developed to the time when they were attacks on the police?
kancinci nje ka usibalisele kokuba usuyaya ke ngokwaba bantu kwasekwenzeka ntoni phaya kwachubeka ngokwenzeka ntoni.
Chairperson, firstly, I decided to take it upon myself to go to the railway line.
Nzenza isigqibo sokuba ndizawuya phaya kwi-railway line.
I called the commanders, that was Colonel Mirafe,
Ndabiza ikomanda ezazikhona Colonel Mirafi,
Brigadier Khalid,
Brigadier Khalid,
Lieutenant Colonel Silwani,
Colonel Silwani,
and it was also Lieutenant Baloi.
no Lieutenant Baloi.
There were other also members from different units.
Kwakukheke nabanye amalunga avela kumacela kwi-units ezehlukile.
I asked Colonel Merafe whether the people have been orientated, and he informed me that the people were briefed when the report on duty orientated.
Ndabuza uColonel Mirafa ukuba aba bantu baye baxelelana kwenzeka ntoni apha baxelele ukuba yintoni ezokwenza whatever baxelelwe ekufikeni kwabo.
But he mentioned also that because he's still working with them, they are also further being orientated during the operation.
Wathi nangoko usasebenza nabo kuzawuthi xa kwenzeka lento lena eloku ebaxelela ukuba yintoni nantoni ekufanele yenziwe.
And Chairperson, I went to the railway line.
Ndaya ke mhlekazi phaya kuloliwe.
On our way to the railway line, we also found some other members, the other protesters.
Sithe sisaya phaya sadibana nabanye babaqhankqalazi.
I informed the police that they should search these people. We check whether are they possessing any dangerous weapon.
Ndathi ke mabaseshwe abakufumana kujonga kokuba baphathanga izixhobo ezingaba nobungozi na.
And they were found that some of them, they did have firearms.
Kwafunyaniswa kokuba abanye babo baphethe imipu.
And I said they must go to Marikana police station to check as to whether those firearms are legally possessed or are illegally possessed.
Ndathi mabathathe bayise police station eMarikana kuyojonga ukuba le mpu abayiphethe isemthethweni yini iyaziwa ikanene yayo.
And the police confirmed with me that the firearms were legally, and I informed them, I instructed them to hand the firearms back to the people.
Abuya amapolisa bandixela ukuba hayi banazo izincwadi zale mipu. Ndathi ke kubo mababanike impu yabo.
I was approaching the group of people. By then, my estimation at that time, it was between 100 and 200.
Meters. Ndathi ke ngelo xesha ndasendisondele kwaba bantu xa ndithelekisa benika ba 100 mhlawumbe 200 meters ukusuka kubo.
No.
I just wanted to say the number of people that I was approaching.
Ndiyangixolela uthi aba bantu babeza baba phakathi kwekhulu namakhulu amabili.
Chairperson, when I approached them, they went in a crouching position.
Ndithe xa ndisiza kubo basebechopha phansi.
And while singing a song, which it was already being played before the commission,
Babe betha igwijo bacula iculo elithise like ladlalwa apha phambi kweCommission.
the words of the song, I will not mention them to the commission because maybe they might also be interpreted by the interpreter here. But to me, the song was saying that I must tighten up certain things so that whatever I want to do, I must know that I'm not going to do it easy.
Babecula ke igwijo apha igwijo elithi mandiqinise isitho esithize somzimba xa ndingakwazi ukwenza njalo nawuphumelela.
As far as I can remember, we saw a video clip of this encounter, and the song was sung on it, and it was interpreted. I remember the interpreter was rather embarrassed in interpreting it, and originally gave a bowdlerized version of the words, but later on he had to give the full wording, so we're aware of that, and you don't have to go into it now. If anyone wants to investigate it further, they can, but you don't have to tell us. We already know about that. We've already seen the video clip.
Uyamchazela ke umhlekazi apho kokuba ladlalwa elogwijo apha uyasho ukuba nami njengaye ugeneral andithandanga ukuba ndiwabize lawo mazwi ndaba nenhloni kodwa siyazi kokuba ukuthi intoni lekufanele iqiniso.
Yes, then you say to them, I'm going to count. Take us from there, General.
Sithatheke kusuka apho General.
I tried several ways of negotiating, persuading them honestly.
Ndazama nyani ngayo yonke into endandinayo emandleni ami ukuba ndibancenge aba bantu ndithethe nabo kakuhle.
And I realized that they were very angry.
Ndayibona into yokuba babilile nyani aba bantu.
And I communicated them in Zulu and they communicated back to me.
Ndathetha nabo ngesizulu bandiphendule.
And realizing that we are getting no any other way or getting a conclusion.
Ndibona kokuba akukho apho siya khona asivani.
Chairperson, I called the commanders.
Ndabiza iCommander mhlekazi.
Then I said to them, my seeing is that it is not going to be possible that we could disperse this crowd.
Ndathi kuzo iCommander zami ndibona kuyinto engeke ibe lula ukuba sikwazi ukusasaza ukuhlakaza ababantu.
And I did that in a way to get their feeling in terms of whether are they assessing the situation like myself.
Ndanditsho lento ndibajongile okokuba nabo bayibona njengami nale meko.
And the majority of them, they agreed with me, and I need to point out that Lieutenant Colonel Merafe did not agree.
Manditsho kokuba ubuninzi babo bavumelana nami kodwa ndisitsho uba uMerafe ndabona ukuba akavumelani nalento ndandiyithethe.
That's a point you deal with in paragraph 8 of your supplementary statement at page 4A.
What did Colonel Merafe, just briefly, what did he prefer you should do?
Awusichazeleke ukuba uMerafe ngoba wayengavumelani nawe yena wayethi makwenziwe ntoni.
Colonel Merafe believed that we should disperse the crowd there and there.
Colonel Merafe wayethi yena mabasasaze abo bantu ngelo xesha ngoko nangoko.
And I had a different view.
Owamke umbono wawohlukile kulento.
You tell us briefly what the reasons for that different view that you held were.
Awutsho ke isizathu owawunaso wena salombono wakho kwakuyintoni General?
Briefly, my view was that there is a railway line.
Ndandibona ngolu hlobo kukho iline isporo phaya sakaloliwe.
And I didn't know at what time will the train or anything pass.
Ndingenalazo ukuba kuyawuvela nini istimela apho.
Chairperson, you have been on the scene. There is also a road that I thought is a public road or a service road for the railway line.
Apho mhlekazi njengoba uke waya kulandawo kukho indlela apha ecane kwesporo esetshenziswa ndiyabona ngabaka railway noma mhlambe isetshenziswa ezithize.
And I realized that it would be unwise to disperse there.
Ndabona kungelona icebo elihle kuba sibasasaze apho.
And I also saw, just not very far from, I'm not good in measurements, but there is a business area just on the other side of the railway line.
Ndithe xa ndijonga ngaphaya ngaphesheya kwale railway ndabona ndazokuba umgama ongakanani kodwa kukho izindawo zebusiness apho.
At the same time, Chairperson, as I said, I relied on my experience.
Theke mhlekazi ndandi kakhulu kumava endinawo ngezenzo.
Realizing the mood of the protesters,
Ndijongile nokuba aba bantu bakumeko enjani maqondana nentukuthelo.
and that they were at that time agitated, refusing to drop the firearms.
Bengazimisele nakancinci ukuba babeke phansi ezizixhobo imipu babeyiphethe.
I thought that this is a right
Sorry. I'm sorry, Chairperson. I don't want to interrupt, but the dropping of the firearms is either new stuff that has not been raised or just a mistake.
We think he said their arms, but wait, let's get clarity from him what he meant.
Yes, I'm saying dangerous weapons. That's right, not
One
firearms.
setting it.
There, not
Thetha.
fire.
Izixhobo eziyingozi.
Chairperson, there is a principle or in crowd management
Mhlekazi kukhona ke imimiselo ethize apha kulawulo lezihlele.
that always when you have to intervene in any spontaneous group or any other gathering, you need to take into consideration
Into efanele okokuba uyijongisise xa uzawuthatha amanyathelo ekulawulweni noma ekulawulweni izihlele ezithize.
And I would like to refer the Commission to FFF5, FFF1.
Thanda ukuba ndijongise commission apho ku FFF. FFF1.
Page of FFF1. FFF1 is the policy document on crowd management issued by
Yes,
Public Order Police. It's
that
quite a
will be-
lengthy document. What particular passage in this document do you want to refer us to?
It is page 4.
Apha kwikhasi lesine le ncwadi ebizwa ngokuba i-Public Order Policy Document on Crowd
What on
Management.
page 4 do you want us to see?
2 paragraphs, all the basic principles, but the one that I needed to speak about is the situational appropriateness at that particular time, taking both the participants and non-participants into consideration.
Uthi ke apho wajonga lumiselo obekwe apha othi kufanele kujongwe imeko okokuba ifanele nawo kokuba kuthathwe elogxathu uthatha ke abantu aba baqhankqalazayo nabo bangekho kolu qhankqalazo.
So there are 2 paragraphs. So the one you've just read us is 3.1.2, which is under the heading Principles of Crowd Management. And is there another paragraph you want us to look at as well?
Chairperson, at that time I looked at that, even those others apply, but in this case I only want to refer to paragraph 3.1.2.
Yes, thank you.
Uthi into eyandibetha ke ngelo xesha ndithe xa ndijonga imeko ndibona okokuba lixeshana elifanele nendawo efanele okokuba ndibasasaze aba bantu xa kuthatha okokuba ngabantu abangaki nabanye abakhona apho kufuphi abangekho qhankqalazweni.
And of course, it's discussed in greater detail on page 5 in paragraph 3.3, Chairperson. Yes, General, so you took into account situational appropriateness. You decided you're not going to disperse people right there and then. You then decided, you say in your statement, to rather escort them, form a sort of basic line behind them. Take the Commission through what then happened.
uthi ke ugeneral wabona kungelona icebo elihle kuba mabasasaze ngolo isigqibo asenzako kokuba makwenziwe umqa apha aba bantu bakhatshwe bayiswe phaya.
That's correct, Chairperson. Always I was considering my actions that they must be within the law. Then I realized that there are action modes that one will have to apply, and at that time it was escorting, which
Cinga okokuba yonke into ekufanele ndiyenze apho kufanele kube into ehambisana nomthetho eyayifaneleke ngelo xesha okokuba mabakhashwe ba-escort.
Sorry, General, before you proceed, you indicated that there was some disagreement with Lieutenant Colonel Merafe. There has, of course, been a suggestion that you changed your mind after officers of lower ranks were advising you. Is that factually correct?
Kuye kwavela apha general okokuba emva kokuba uthethe esisigqibo ningevani no Merafe kwaba khona amapolisa angaphansi kwakho ke nawo ayenza okokuba uguqule isigqibo sakho.
Chairperson, there is no truth in the claim that I changed my mind when I was advised by the junior officers.
Kukho nyani apho ke mhlekazi okokuba kwaba ndim endiphendula isigqibo esemva kokuba ndixelwe ngaba bangaphansi kwam. Ayiyo nyani leyo.
Okay, then
You're referring to a claim that I've never heard of before, and I get the impression that you are quite appropriately defending your action against critics who have, not to our knowledge, but who have outside criticized you for acting as you did. But can you tell me something about the claim that was made against, to which you are in effect responding? Who made that claim?
Bani lo waveza lento eyayithethwa ngawe ethi babengavumelani nendlela wasebenza ngayo kwizinto ezinjengalezo uyayazi lonto?
Chairperson, the question that I was asked by the legal representative is that I changed my intentions. I think the criticism comes from Mr. White to say that I changed my intentions because I was advised by my junior officers.
Lento ivela kulumbhali okuthiwa nguWhite othi ubona okokuba ndajika isigqibo ndandisithethe dinyanzeliswa ngabantu abangaphansi kwami.
You say, I don't remember Mr. White saying that, but I won't quarrel with you about that. You say that that criticism is not justified because it's not correct. You didn't change your mind because of what you advised by the junior officers. Is that correct?
Uthi ugeneral ayikho lonto akuyonyani okokuba waphendula isigqibo besenzile enyanzeliswa ngabangaphansi kwakhe uthi ayenza kangalonto.
That's correct, Chairperson.
it's in Mr. White's statement, Chairperson. I'll find it in due course.
Let's not hold up the proceeding. I'll find it in due course.
Yes, please proceed, General.
Chairperson, within a reasonable distance, as I have said earlier, I'm not good in measurements.
Njengoba nditshilo kokuba imigama lena akuyonto endinamava kakhulu ngayo kodwa ke kusuka nje banga elincinci kusuka apho.
The police and myself, we followed I would say the strikers within a reasonable distance at the back.
Namapolisa sasiza emva silandela aba bakhankalazi njengoba babehamba.
There were some soft top vehicles that they were also moving on, they were also driving.
Kwakukho nezimoto ke izimoto eziqhelekile hayi ezizamapolisa ezazigqitha apho
on the gravel roads.
Lendlela apha gravel.
And during the time when I was briefing the officers, I indicated to them that during my briefing earlier by Brigadier Khalid, what was happening, the modus operandi of the strikers by then, it was to assault, maim, or kill any person who is going at work.
Ndabaxelela ke abo kokuba sithe siphaya xa ndibalisela uBrigadier Karis kokuba indlela aba bantu abafuna ukusebenza ngayo kuba babethe noma bahlasele babulale noma ngubani oya empangelweni.
And when I was talking to the strikers, they also indicated that they wanted to go and talk to Umlungu.
When I spoke to the strikers, they said to me they wanted to go to talk to Umlungu meaning the white person or the employer.
And as I was informed, it was that now it means they were also going to the LPD offices when we intercept them. That was in my mind.
That made me understand that their intention was to go to the LPD.
The witness is giving evidence in English, and you were paraphrasing his evidence in English as well.
I'm sorry.
Now, I've never noticed that, I've never seen that happen before, and I don't think it's a good precedent that we should allow to continue. Your function.
Sorry. I'm very sorry, I just got lost.
What happened was, no, I understand exactly what happened. He used the word Mslungu, see, which then pressed a button in your mind that you had to interpret that from Xhosa to English. Yes. And you then carried on in English, repeating what he'd said, but with a bit of paraphrase and commentary of your own. May I suggest that we ask him to repeat the previous paragraph of his evidence in English. You can then interpret it into Xhosa. If there are any Xhosa words that the General uses, you can interpret those for our benefit as well. But I'm sure we've got a number of people here who are rather mystified. They've heard some evidence in English, they heard it being interpreted in English, and they don't understand what was said.
The problem, sir, is I think interpreting has been so much in my mind that it changes just automatically. I'm sorry for this. Ubethi General.
Happens to everybody.
Uthe xa ethetha naba bantu phaya ethetha ngesizulu nabo bemphendula ejongweni bathi aba bantu phakathi kwezinye uthi enye into bathi bafuna ukubona umlungu ngoku umlungu ke ndathi mne kusho ukuba bafuna ukubona lo muntu abaqashile uthi ku general ingcingo ezafika kuye xa bethi bafuna ukubona umlungu ukuba bafuna ukusuka apho baye kule ndawo ekuthiwa yi-LPD. Thank you.
Chairperson, in deciding that we should escort them, in my mind was that if we withdraw at that time, then the strikers, in the manner in which they are moving, they might also injure, kill or maim these people, and at that time we don't know where they are staying.
Uthi ke xa wabona okokuba xa singabayeka apha aba bantu kungahle kwenzeka okokuba bathi ekambeni kwabo bonsakalise babethe kanene babulale abanye abantu ngoba singazi ukuba bayaphi.
And I find that it could not be acceptable to the community when they realize the visibility of the police and you withdraw it, and later something happens. I understand that, and that is my decision in terms of escorting them.
Into eyenza okokuba ndiyenze isigqibo sokuba masibakhaphe ukuthi abahlali bababonile amapolisa ekhona apho bebazawumangala ngoku amapolisa uma seyeka aba bantu sebezihambela bona ngokwabo.
And that I was also entitled, or in terms of the same principle which I quoted, and that is the crowd management FF1, that is legal consideration. In terms of section 9(1)(c, I am, whether legally or an illegal gathering, you can escort it and determine the route.
Wathi ke ndizabanika indlela bazawuhamba ngayo ngoba phansi komthetho njengoba esisho nje uthi noma inhlanganiso isemthethweni kanene ayikho emthethweni unalo ilungelo lokuba abakhaphe bahambe ngendlela ethize.
In my briefing to the officers, I said, as I have already indicated, that we should make sure that they don't go into the informal settlement or in any of the business areas.
Ndathi ke kwabanda nisebenza nabo masenze okokuba bangangeni apha ezindaweni zokuhlala. Masibaqhube ukuba bangangeni ezindaweni zokuhlala, bangangeni kwizindawo zehwebo zebusiness.
No, I was talking about the residential area as well as informal settlement.
Ewe, izindawo zokuhlala apho kuhlala khona abantu nasemajojombeni bangangeni.
With the briefing that I got, I understand that the people, this group was also in the morning at the copy.
Andiveke phaya kwi-briefing kwingxelo bendinikezwe yona okokuba aba bantu eliqela lalikhona phaya entabeni kusasa ngalomini.
So they did go to the K in that mine, not through the villages, but they knew how to get where they were without entering the village.
Basuka apho ke baya phaya kule Shafty K ngendlela ethize engahambi apha emajojombeni bahamba ngendlela abayaziyo.
Chairperson, while we were escorting them,
Sitheke xa sibakhapha mhlekazi.
and while I was also at the back,
Ndipha emva mna kubo.
I saw them because when they were moving towards the COP, while they were also moving, I saw just after a certain time, I saw as if they are also going to go to the informal settlement.
Kuthe bahamba ke kukho indawo apho engathi kuyidamu ndithe xa ndibona befika apho basebejika besithi engabajonge apha ngasekuhlaleni.
I had the CS shooting from one of the members.
Eva omnye apha kumalungu amapolisa edubula ngesintshisi CS Teges.
And through that shooting, I realized that the strikers turned against the police.
Uthe ke xa kwenzeka oko ndabona abaqhankqalazi ababejika besiza ngesantya apha ngasemapoliseni.
It was not a very good scene.
Kwakunge yona into enhle ukuyibona le yayenzeka.
I saw Warrant Officer Monene being chopped and killed in front of me.
Ndabona uwarrant officer Munene bemu qhekeza apho bembulala phambi kwami ndijongile.
I saw how Warrant Officer Lipaku was killed.
Ndabona nendlela uwarrant officer Lipaku abulawa ngayo.
Lieutenant Baloyi fought a fight. He defended himself in many ways.
Lieutenant Baloyi walwanyani ezikhusela ngezindlela ezininzi.
At the same time, the police came to his rescue and he was saved, taken to hospital.
Kwathi ngelo xesha amapolisa afika ke bamnikeza uncedo wakhuseleka wathathwa wayiswa esibhedlele.
Chairperson, I need to indicate that later I found out that the person who used the CS, it was Warrant Officer Kun.
Kuthe ke emva kwexesha ndafumana okokuba lo muntu uye wadubula ngale Teges nguwarrant officer uKun.
And Warrant Officer Kun informed me that he had an order.
Wathi uwarrant officer Kun yena ubeyalelo ufumene uyalezo kokuba adubule.
And he couldn't tell me who gave him the order.
Wangakwazi ukundixelela ukuba ngubani lo mnikelo umyalelo.
Chairpersons, the emotions were extremely high.
Ngelo xesha ke imimoya yase iphakeme gqitha.
But as a senior officer at the scene, I did take control, cool up the members.
Kodwa ke njengomuntu ophethe phezulu phaya denza zonke inzame zokuba ndibehlise.
And I said that the members should not follow the protesters because by that time I could see that there is no more any attack.
Ngoba ngelo xesha kwakungasekho lihlaselo lalivela kubaqhankqalazi ndathi kumapolisa angabalandeli.
And I said that we should withdraw and we go back at the Jok.
Ndathi kubo masiphinde umva saphindela eJock.
I needed to state at the moment that I was approached by Lieutenant Colonel Vermaak,
Mandisho kokuba ngelo xesha ke kweza kum uKolonel Vermaak.
Colonel Vermaak said that at the moment my life is in danger. In Afrikaans, generaal se lewe is in gevaar.
uKolonel Vermaak weza kum wanixela ukuba jonga apha General impilo yakho isengciphekweni ngoku.
And I said back to him, Salmon, ek gaan nie nou loop nie.
Kuye ngeAfrikaans jonga apha Salmon andinawuhamba ngoku.
Ek sal moet eers die toneel oorhandig aan Brigadier van Sail.
Ndathi kuye kuyawudingeka okokuba ndize ndinikezele kuBrigadier van Sail phambi kokuba ndihambe.
Said to him, I shan't leave the scene until I hand it over to Brigadier van Sail.
I would not leave until I have handed over to Brigadier van Sail.
Is this perhaps a suitable stage for us to take the tea adjournment? Mr. Ngulwana? We'll take the tea adjournment.
Sake sibe ixesha letiye kancinci mawethu.